If you're new to spearfishing, you probably realized how difficult it can be, but in this guide, I'm going to give you everything you need to know before getting in the water. I'm going to split this video into 3 parts: equipment, conditions, and skills. Once you learn these 3 things, your efficiency in the water is going to improve significantly. First, we got equipment. This is all the items you're going to be using in the water. Examples are fins, knife, or spear guns. And we're going to start with the mask first, since it's the staple of your equipment in the waters. You want to make sure the mask fits your face properly, and a good trick to do that is just put it on your face just like this, press, and it should stay. You want to make sure you try every mask at the dive shop, and whichever one sticks to your face the best is the one you need to pick out. A good trick for your snorkel is to zip tie it on the back with 2 zip ties, because a lot of people want to put their masks like this, but it doesn't make sense because when your head's pointing down, the snorkel is going to be pointing in the water. So you want to tie it up with 2 zip ties on the very back of your head, which will give the snorkel the most leverage point and will be sticking out of the water the highest. When you first pick up your mask, what you want to do is burn the lens, just the little film on the inside, and then you're going to put some toothpaste in it, rub it, and then every time after you go dive, you want to use baby shampoo in your mask. 10 parts water, 1 part baby shampoo, and put it in your mask with some fresh water, and it should make your mask clear for the whole rest of your dive. Next, we got the fins. I have a basic plastic fin, and this should do just fine for you. The difference between spearfishing fins or freediving fins and snorkelers fins is it's a much longer fin. It's because the way we kick in these long strokes, which is going to help you get way more relaxed in the water. The trick for finding a good fin, you want to get a nice plastic fin. You can get carbon fiber, but since you're a beginner, I would recommend getting a plastic fin since they're much cheaper. And you want to make sure you get a nice foot pocket that fits your feet good. Try as much ones as you want. You just want to get a nice long fin with a good fitting foot pocket, and that should do the trick. Next, we got the wetsuit or wetsuit top. This is a very important part of your dive gear. This is because it's going to keep you warm in the water. It's going to keep the stingy things off you. It helps you tuck up under ledges. It's just a really important thing out there in the water. And there's 2 different types. There's the wetsuit top, which is what I started out with and most beginners started out with. And then there's the full body wetsuit, which you can see right here. It just depends. Like, I would personally recommend getting the wetsuit top when you're starting out. It's much cheaper. It does the job, and it helps you get a feel for if you're going to like diving or not. It also does come with this loading pad when you're loading the spear gun. You put it right here and you load the spear gun, and this protection pad helps protect your chest from getting cut up from the sharp spear gun. For the wetsuit top, you just want to get a nice little one like this. Hammerhead makes a really good one. You want to make sure it has a hood. You want to make sure it's a full length too. But if you're going to get a wetsuit diving out here in Hawaii, I would recommend getting a 3mm wetsuit. The camouflage doesn't really matter. I like it personally because I think it helps a little bit, but it doesn't really matter. And you just want to make sure you get a 3mm wetsuit with a knife pocket and open cell on the inside, which is going to help keep you warm when you're diving in the waters out here. Now we're on to the 3-prong, which is going to be the tool you guys will be using to collect fish out here in the ocean if you're a beginner. The 3-prong has a little stretchy band just like this, and then you grip up higher on the spear. This is a 3-piece spear, and you grip higher up on the spear. It's connected just like this. You let go of the spear, and it launches right through the fish. When you have your 3-prong, you want to make sure that you twist. You want to twist the band just like this when you're loading the spear. It's going to help us shoot more accurately. And for finding a good 3-prong, Walmart sells 3-prongs. Basically, any dive store you go to in Hawaii will sell 3-prongs, but you just want to get a nice, simple 3-prong as a beginner. And the 3-prong is used to collect smaller fish in Hawaii, but even guys have shot aluas and ukus on 3-prongs, so basically anyone can use it. I personally like the Evolve breakdown 3-prongs because it's much easier to travel with. You can get any 3-prong you want as long as it has the 3 prongs right here and a nice stretchy band that is comfortable for you. Now we're on to the spear gun, which is my personal favorite way to collect fish. The spear gun is usually just a single 1 to 2 bands right here if you have a rail gun, and you pull it back right onto this fin right here. Load it with the loading pad on your chest. You pull the band back right here and you load the spear gun. It usually has a trigger mech just like this, and then there's a safety when you're swimming around in the water. The spear gun is used to shoot bigger fish out here in Hawaii, and if you're a beginner, I would say use the 3-prong, and then once you start feeling more comfortable with the 3-prong and you've learned the fish, how they come around you, you've learned how to hunt properly, then you should pick up a spear gun. And if you're going to pick up a beginner spear gun for the first time, recommend a 90 to 100 centimeter gun. That's a 1 band. You can get a 2 band if you want, but I would recommend just using the 1 band for now, just to get familiar with spear guns. Next, we got the dive knife. This is what you're going to be using in the water to kill fish. You want to just pick up a basic simple dive knife with sheath just like this. The dive knife, it's just simple. You just want a dive knife. You want a nice steel dive knife, stainless steel dive knife. I know Evolve makes really good dive knives. Just go to your dive shop and ask them for a dive knife. And what you want to do is when you see a fish in the water, after you shoot it, you hold it and you stab it right in the head, and then you stab it in each side of the gills to remove all the blood, because this will keep the meat a lot more fresh after you're done. Now we got the stringer. This is what you're going to be using to put your fish on after you're done stabbing them with the knife. The stringer is pretty simple. It's just a little loop and then a little metal piece right here. And when you grab the fish, you either want to put it through the eyes, so you put this metal thing through the eyes and bring this line through, and you put it through the eyes or the gills, and then it will stay on this, and you can clip this to your float, and that's how you use the stringer. Next, we're going to be talking about weight belts, and there's two types of weight belts. A weight belt just like this, a simple weight belt. This one is not as stretchy, but this is a good beginner weight belt. It comes with a little clip just like this. You open it up. There's one just like this, which is the Evolve weight belt. This is a more stretchy weight belt. I added my clips onto it just like this. This weight belt, when you wrap it around your waist and you're trying to get that last breath, this will allow you to do that because it stretches. The Evolve weight belt is a good weight belt when you're getting more advanced, but I would recommend getting this one when you're first starting out because it's much cheaper. It should be a nice weight belt for you. When you're getting a weight belt, if you have a wetsuit, you want to make sure that you get the proper weight on your weight belt, which is going to make it a lot easier for you to float on the surface and sink when you're in the bottom. For a weight belt, there's weight calculators online, so however thick your wetsuit is, you type it in, and then you type in your body weight and your height, and it will calculate how much weight you need on your weight belt. Being properly weighted is very important in the water because this will help you stay on the bottom good and float on the surface good, and depending on the depths you're diving, the weight you're going to want on your weight belt is going to change. So shallower water, you're going to want more weight, but the deeper you go, the less weight you want on your weight belt. Now we got the dive bag. This is what's going to help hold all your dive gear coming in and out of the water when you're done. So when you're done with your dive, or when you're first getting to your spot, you put all your gear in this. You want to make sure your dive bag has back straps like this because it'll make it much easier when you're walking to off the grid places where you have to climb down rocks and stuff. Hammerhead, they make a decent dive bag, but I would recommend getting a bigger one than this with more storage so you can put your float and stuff, because this one is a smaller one and holds less stuff, but the bigger ones will be more useful for you guys. You just want to make sure it zips and has a back strap and a front pocket if you'd like one. Now we got the baby shampoo, which is essential for me when I'm out diving. I use this for 3 different ways. I use it for my wetsuit lube, so I put 1 part baby shampoo, 10 parts water. I put it in my mask, which I do the same ratio, and then I use it to clean my hair once I'm done diving. This is very important for you out when you're in the water. I mean, it keeps your mask clean, and if your mask is dirty, you're not going to be shooting as much fish as if it's clean, so it helps keep it unfogged, and it's just a very useful tool when you're out diving. Now we got the buoy. I don't have a buoy on me right now, but an example of a buoy I'm pulling up right here. The buoy, you just want to make sure you get a nice orange buoy so you can put the flag on top of the buoy too. For the line, you want to get a nice buoy line that's a rope, and you want it to be however deep you're diving. So if you're diving 100 feet, get 100 foot of buoy line. If you're diving 25 feet, get 25 feet of buoy line. And you want to make sure you get a nice anchor. They have the ones with the plastic, and then it's like a metal, and it has 3 little spear things shooting out of it. And that's a good one I would recommend. For a buoy, they're not too expensive. They're usually around like 60, 70 bucks. But you just want to make sure you get a nice solid buoy. Alright guys, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more about this topic, make sure to like and comment. Next week, I'm going to be releasing a video all about the different skills you use for your first time out diving in the water, so make sure to check that out, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Shoots then.